A large chunk of Clan Fester are currently camped down in the ruins of Karak Knoll. Now,
we're going after a large chunk of Clan Fester.
Kill their warlord and watch the chaos unfold.
We're gonna burn that large chunk of Clan Fester.
At the very least, I think we'll delay the work on the Skittergate. Oh, don't look at me like that. You know
you'll enjoy it once you're there. I'm back with another CataTide with my bots. Just here to relax, slay rats, and kill chaos, though it's gonna be just rats in this particular game. Of course, I wish I could this spot too. I'm playing with my bots, of course, so I can talk to all of you a little more. I can focus on that. Tell you guys little tidbits of information that I wouldn't really be able to focus on if I had real people in my game and I had to focus on what they were doing instead. Holy. That was oh my god, what are all these Plague Monks the Stormworm doing at the very entrance? They had this entrance guarded. Holy shit. That was crazy. That was a crazy welcoming party. But I'm back again with Unchained here. I'm doing my wildfire build again. I played this one other time, I think. Played it on Parting of the Waves. It's a very strong build. It could definitely be better in certain aspects. I wanted to talk a little bit about Chain Reaction. I am running Chain Reaction. It's the talent in the second row. You would think it would be one of those talents where it's super good, but you know what? I kind of wanted to go over that a little bit and explain what it does exactly. So Chain Reaction has always been a small explosion, and all it actually does is when an enemy explodes with Chain Reaction on it, you can see those little explosions that the rats are kind of showing here. Chain Reaction only ever staggers enemies around that explosion effect. It doesn't actually do any damage. Wouldn't you believe how much disappointment I had when I first learned about this? I knew about this already for quite a while. I still run Chain Reaction. That stagger against a bunch of enemies like that, like Skaven Slaves in a large AoE, can actually be very useful in certain cases. But it just in case anybody wasn't aware, since the last time I sort of did this build, Chain Reaction does not actually deal any damage. It's just you know, a small circle of stagger. In an AoE.
We plague monks to fight.
So it's not completely useless. There's some instances where when you have a wildfire active, setting enemies all around you on fire, and if like one of them triggers that chain reaction, and you're kind of surrounded, it has the potential to provide you a lot of good CC in an area around you. Against chaff and such. You might find that running Frenzied Flame instead sort of can give you just as much crowd control in a way, just by virtue of having more attack speed, which means, you know, you can do more of this, like heavy one attack, for example, which will obviously stagger enemies in front of you. So you can argue that Frenzied Flame sort of does like the same thing, but maybe better in a certain way. I think Chain Reaction kind of shines when you really need it in situations where you get surrounded. Especially with using Wildfire here, as I'm running. So yeah, I just wanted to make sure everybody watching who is interested in a build such as this knew that. You can always certainly run something other than Chain Reaction. I always encourage everybody watching these videos that you can always change anything on the builds. They're mostly just here to get people interested in playing certain ways, in trying careers out in other, you know, new fashions, new ways. Try to get people more replayability out of the game. Oh yeah, baby. Burn. Burn. Feels good, man. Bots are a little low, but they'll their HP is gonna jump as soon as this forward. Yeah, there it is. So yeah, you know, Chain Reaction kind of sucks, but I'm still gonna use it. You know, you can still make use of it in certain cases. Some people just might find better use for the other talents on that row. Sometimes there's something on the bottom right here. Whatever. I'm not even gonna worry about a speed potion. So it's very much good in cases like that, where you just kind of saw me walk through a Skaven slave horde and I didn't really care about what was on my sides or what was behind me. I just walked through it with my Wildfire, and it kind of has the potential to like keep you protected a little bit in a way, against all those rats kind of poking you. So that's kind of like what Chain Reaction can do for you in certain cases. So if anybody was struggling to find what the use case for that particular talent could be, well, there you go.
Stay quiet. There's a wreckage down here.
Quite often I know when I do these build videos that I don't always go over everything about the build, so which is why I try to get multiple plays with the build in. The channel is still very much a work in progress for me. I know I started the channel a few months ago, but I feel like I'm still in the process of creating the channel. What I really wanted the channel to be was a sort of like a resource for people to find. And I kind of have the channel set up in a way so that like anybody who visits the channel here can search for videos based on what career they may be interested in playing. So I don't know if anybody has noticed, but I have playlists. I've been adding to the playlists of every career that I've been playing here on the channel so far. So this is just going to be another game in the playlist of Unchained. And, that way if somebody was interested in playing Unchained, they could just go to the Unchained playlist and see all the different ways that I've played Unchained. Perhaps get a feel for the career itself, and then maybe get some inspiration for certain builds by watching the videos, by watching the different builds that I do on her. Son of a bitch. I wanted to pick up that medkit. It was too late. But yeah, they can learn a little something about the whatever career it is they're interested in. Like I said, get a little inspiration in certain cases, because again, I said this before, the builds aren't necessarily set in stone for anybody. There's just ways that I like to play the game, but I always emphasize the uniqueness of everybody's playstyle. And so I always encourage anybody to simply use the builds that I provide simply as blueprints. Oh man, when you get when you get that ult off to reset your overcharge, and then you suddenly are able to put down like like half a dozen more fire geysers. I mean, using conduit too. Also, just really reduces the damage that venting overcharge does on you. So. Seems like we got a Storm Fiend. Look at the size of that Storm Fiend. I've mentioned this before when using Coruscation stuff. The geysers aren't supposed... The geysers don't stack. I've had cases in certain games where I feel like they do. So you can see I'm dropping multiple geysers on him. It's not doing anything. They are all kind of dying here. Wow, they are getting lit up. Oh my goodness. So yeah, it's This isn't actually doing anything when I put the multiple geysers on them. But I swear I've had games where the restriction for the geysers isn't always in effect. And I swear that multiple geysers on top of an enemy is dealing more damage. And I still got the elf with me here. And I'm going to keep the elf alive by hitting all of these Skaven slaves with my heavy 1 attack on my Firesword, which will proc a lot of temp HP. And they actually are right in the next room over, so that's pretty handy. That's a very lucky spawn to be for them to have spawned so close, so nearby.
Don't let it shoot ya!
Fortunately, I believe I'm going to be running out of ale stacks, which is, well, unfortunate.
I'll be back.
Do you even know what that shield is for, Blackfur?
So yeah, you know, I kind of want to, as I was kind of talking about earlier with still creating the channel, I still want to get a bunch more videos up in each playlist, even if it is using the same build. I do have a lot of other builds that I want to use for certain careers, but I just haven't quite gotten around to using them quite yet, or I'm just not too terribly good at using them on Cataclysm. I do have I've been playing the game for a long time, and I still do have my extents of which I've progressed with utilizing certain builds. And you know, everything takes time.
Vermin. Is there no end to them?
Gas cloud coming in.
See that? Over there.
One of the goals I had for the channel too was to just kind of show off how the AI can still be useful even when playing solo. I've always heard the bots get a lot of hate. Again, granted, I'm using the bot improvements mod, but I've heard even when people are using that, they still think they still find the bots to be complete shite. They still don't think it's worth it or even possible to play games with them. And I kind of wanted to just show how people can play games with the bots still. I think the bots, playing with the bots, is just a good basis for learning the game in a lot of different ways. I don't encourage playing with just the bots only. I know some people who play Vermintide who only wish to play with the bots, and that's it. And as I always say, to each their own. But I also think when you playing with the bots is also just a really good way to get the lowdown on like certain careers, or get used to the way a certain build plays. Sort of like learn how you can emphasize what your role is in a game before you go into a game with real people to use it. Yeah, right there, buddy. Oh my god. Okay. I thought they were just gonna line up right in front of him point blank and let him blast them. There's an assassin up top. So, you know, I also just wanted, you know, a big portion of the channel to feature how the bots can be, how you can get them to work for you. I do have very particular builds and careers that I use. You know, I put those in the description all the time. I have made a few videos now detailing like how I keep them alive and stuff.
So, the rattling's dead.
Erupt! You know what? There was just so many of them there. I couldn't help myself. And we're gonna walk our wildfire into this big chunk of it is just so satisfying, absolutely gutting long lines of Skaven slaves, man. What are you guys doing over there? Get over here.
There's a bomb.
Black Rat, your hour has come.
Foolish ratty. Playing with fire.
Too much poison.
You think?
So yeah, you know, I know I've played some builds quite repetitively on the channel. Yeah, I've expressed before how I kind of want to get a game in on like every map with a particular build, not necessarily a particular career, but a particular build. And then that way, you know, anybody who was interested in such a playstyle can get a
I thought you lot were immortal.
can have quite the library of knowledge to sort of draw from just by virtue of me playing so many games with said build. And since I've already got quite an audience, is nobody gonna get the elf? They're more concerned with the specials.
No, but too much.
I'm just leaving the elf. I also figure since I've got such an audience at this point, I know some people will. At the time of me recording this, I've got a little over a couple hundred subscribers. I know. In terms of like the grand scheme of things for YouTube, that's not a lot. It's a lot for me. You know, if I had all of you in the same room with me, looking over my shoulder, 200 plus people is a lot of fucking people to just kind of have, you know, watching you play over your shoulder. I figure since I've got such a large audience already, quote-unquote large, I figure people just watching me play also can be just a fun way to sort of fill the channel up with quote-unquote content. Oh my god, bots are going in. Very nice. There might have been a make kit back there and I didn't pick it up. Whatever, I don't care.
Time to burn out Warlord. Healing draft.
We got another. We're blessed by Mermidia with another wave of Skaven slaves. Ooh, this one has plague monks in it.
Over there. Plague
Why would I parry when I can absorb and then direct into more fire? I'll be honest, I have zero idea what the fuck is going on at the moment.
Assassin's Mercenary. Poison rat. Healing draft here.
Where are you,
Don't
Elf?
look so ungrateful, Elf. I'm patching you up. Skaven gun rat.
Spend a little bit for when this Gatling gunner hits me, so I don't overheat, and it forces me to use my ult.
Another of these black birds comes to challenge me.
Down in one.
Hold on, some of us are hurting.
Yep, and then
Healing
grab
draft.
that.
Don't squander it.
Yep. So this boss fight might be a little drawn out. I don't have exactly the right kind of damage to be dealing with someone like him, but he's pretty mild. I should be decent in being able to deal with him here, especially with the bots. The elf in particular has, with that recursive venom,
Hold together, Marcus.
the capability to sort of debuff him pretty hard. So I'm actually going to just step away from him as he's doing those halberd attacks, because the bots don't know how to block it, they don't know how to avoid it, and I was kind of hoping that the bots would sort of gravitate towards me a little bit. Because we can't really fight him while he's doing those halberd attacks. There we go. Then he'll bust out the dual swords again, and we'll start hitting him in this version instead. Might as well throw this down. That's gonna hurt Kruber a lot. In fact, I might have gotten him killed. Still seems to be up at least. So we'll get another wildfire off. This should kind of deal enough damage to him. Finish him off, and Burn.
We win again. Surely a dwarf has more to give.
Surely you have more to give. Let's not forget our lucky loot die. I don't need them for this game, but I might need them for next game, you know? You never know how your luck will turn out. I've shown this jump before. I'm going to try to do it again. This is a really difficult jump to do. This is... Whoa! Hey!
God, I can't keep going.
Oh, I saw Stormvermin over there on the platform, but whatever.
Time for a bandage, Carillion.
It burns.
It burns so good. Well, yeah, I forgot they don't stay here on the platform. We had Plague Monks to start it off, and we got Plague Monks to end it. Very nice. As always, if you stuck with me through that whole video, I appreciate you watching. I appreciate everybody who takes the time to like the videos and comment. Now, if you find yourself coming back on the regular, I do post videos every couple days usually with there's something fun that I like doing. Either something new or something I try to go a little bit more in depth with that I've done previously. So why not subscribe if you find yourself coming back on the regular? And there it is. Not too bad. Everybody got a very even amount of special kills. That's pretty good. Very useful when they can clean up those specials for me whenever I need them to. Very nice. As always, again, it bears repeating. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next CataTide video. GG.